Hello everyone, Charles Watts here. Welcome back to Inside Arsenal. It is Wednesday, it is match day, of course, Champions League action later on today at the Emirates. I am heading to that one. I'm not going to be in the press box for this. I'm going to be in my seat with my dad, so there'll be no live updates from me on social media. I swear, honestly, I feel like I'm the only person going to the game. Well, and my dad as well. Normally I know so many people going to games. And genuinely, I don't know anyone going today, apart from journalists in the press box. So many of my friends who usually go are not going. And it's going to be a strange night, I imagine, at the Emirates. Definitely not going to be full. And it's going to be an interesting one. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. So it's nice going to a game with no fear or jeopardy. And I'm normally the most pessimistic fan going and always kind of try and find a way of making myself think that Arsenal could somehow throw it away. I think the scars of Newcastle 4, Arsenal 4 from all those years ago just remain deep. Ever since that game, I always think anything's possible. But even I think Arsenal are through. So much so that I'm sorry to say I have booked my flight to Madrid. Haven't booked my flight home yet because I don't know what day the game is, but I've booked my flight to Madrid. So one way or the other, I am going. Apologies in advance for that. But that's how confident I am that Arsenal are going to get the job done today. We're going to talk about that game a little bit later on in the show. Do predicted 11. Look what some of you guys have been saying for the 11s that you'd want to see. Look what Arteta's saying about Raheem Sterling for one, and just the Champions League as a whole. We'll also do a little bit of a roundup of what happened last night in the Champions League. Liverpool crashing out at Anfield, deservedly so as well. I thought PSG were absolutely fantastic in that game. Well, over the two legs anyway, they certainly deserve to win, so we'll talk about that. But first, we're going to talk about kind of talk about Andre Berta. More so, we're going to talk about what Mikel Arteta has had to say about the imminent arrival, not of Andre Berta, because he didn't talk about that, but the imminent arrival of the sporting director at Arsenal, and Arsenal's sort of summer that lies ahead. And he's had a bit of a message, really, a bit of a sort of message to maybe to fans, to us as journalists in terms of how Arsenal are, because I think there's been lots of talk, hasn't there, or lots of suggestion that maybe Arsenal, because of everything that's been going on with the sporting director, because no one's been in place yet, because Edu's been out for a long time, because we've had a interim doing the job, that maybe ahead of such a big summer, Arsenal aren't in the best position when it comes to potentially getting their deals done for the summer. But it's a bit of a message from Arteta here. If everyone just calm down, we're on it. And so I'll go through. So this is what he was talking in the sort of embargoed section of yesterday's press conference. Obviously, I came on, reported from London Colney yesterday after the initial part of the press conference, but this was from the sort of embargoed section. So the quotes go live at 10:38 p.m. last night on the net, and they come out in the morning's papers today. So he was talking about the sporting director. He was asked about the sporting director and the importance of someone coming in like now, basically, so they can start planning for the summer straight away. And this is what he's had to say about that sort of process. He said, yes, I think it's been a process that the club believe was the right thing to do. And once they are ready and they believe it is the right moment to make it public, they will do it. And then I will work from that. And then this is the key bit here. He then says, but the club is very prepared for the next steps. By that, obviously, he means the summer and the next steps of Arsenal trying to strengthen the squad. Now, we know there are some long-term targets at Arsenal that a lot of work has gone into potentially getting deals done for, Zubimendi, for example, Benjamin Sesko, maybe even Nico Williams, players that Arsenal have been after for a long time. And I think when you look at this summer window, this isn't going to be a Berta transfer window if he comes in and gets appointed now. Maybe there might be a couple of sort of deals that he manages to get done, or certainly over the line, even like Garcia, the goalkeeper. These are all deals that Arsenal have been working on for a long, long time. So I don't think he's going to come in and we're going to immediately see the blueprint of him in this transfer window. I think his job, his main job, once the appointment is announced, will be to just get the deals that Arsenal have been working on over the line. So when Arteta there says the club is very prepared for the next steps, I'm guessing that what he means is, look, we have done a lot of the groundwork already behind the scenes on the players that we really want this summer, and so we're ready for it. And then whoever comes in can try and get these deals over the line from us. I think it's probably later on in the windows, in the next few windows, we might start to see Berta's kind of blueprint emerge more. I do think this will be more of a club window than a Berta transfer window, if you see what I mean. There was other stuff from Arteta on the summer ahead. He was asked, this is a big summer, lots of investment potentially needed here after, a disappointing season this time around. And he says, well, every summer is important because there are things that you can't predict and other things that will probably happen that are not on the table right now. But I have full belief that this squad, when it's fully fit, is very strong. He was then asked, is the need, because of what happened last summer, has sort of given this summer even more importance? Do you need more this summer because of basically you didn't get enough last summer? And he said, yes, we knew the capacity we had to do certain things and we know what is ideal, but you cannot have sometimes everything that you want because you have to respect that there are other things that are limiting you. So those are the messages from Arteta on the summer ahead. So club is very prepared for the next step. Believes the squad is strong already, but there is a need to do more. And Arsenal have the capacity to do more, but does warn as well that you can't always get everything that you want, as I think Arsenal sort of found out to their cost last summer when they were unable to do the deals that they wanted for Benjamin Sesko and Nico Williams. So we'll see. Wait and see, obviously, for Berta to be announced. Don't think that is coming just yet. Certainly the messages I sort of got from discussions I had yesterday were it might not be absolutely announced. I think the deal is going to be signed this week, from what I believe, but I don't think necessarily that means that the announcement will come straight away. It might do, but certainly from what I heard yesterday, it didn't sound like there was a planned announcement absolutely imminent, but that could all change, obviously, a click of fingers. So we'll wait and see on that. Okay, let's move on to Champions League night then, shall we? As I said at the start, going to be an interesting game in terms of the atmosphere, in terms of the crowd. Fair play to PSV. They've brought all their allocation over, and I think those were all sold after the 7-1 defeat as well. I saw on social media. Admittedly, I didn't actually check that out myself, but I did see that a lot, or maybe all of the tickets were sold after the 7-1 defeat. So if that is the case, that's unbelievable support from them. So they should be loud. But yeah, I'm expecting lots and lots of empty seats. I mean, in a way, Arsenal's fault. They got pretty greedy. I think they class this as a Category A game, which I know it's a Champions League knockout stages, but still, no disrespect to PSV, I'm not sure this really should be classified as a Category A game. I'm sure Arsenal thought, well, it'll be fine. It will sell out because it's Champions League. It's second leg. There's going to be a lot of tension on it. It's going to be a big game. But obviously, that's not the case. It's 7-1, game over. And people are now trying to shift their tickets that they've got. They're all going on the exchange. People aren't buying them on the exchange. So even if people have bought tickets, through, like, I've got my cup scheme automatically. So the tickets just bought as soon as so I go straight into the cup games. People have done that, though, and then maybe got a long distance to travel, even though they've paid for the ticket, might not come down for the game because of the extra cost of the travel and things like that. So I think there's going to be lots and lots of empty seats in that game because I know that the exchange has just been flooded all week with this one. But it is a big one for Arsenal, just to sort of, I don't know, raise the spirits again. I think, we all felt a lot better after the 7-1 last week, didn't we? Now we've come back down to earth a little bit after the disappointing draw at Old Trafford. We've got a big game this weekend, so it'd be nice to go into it on the back of a win. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, Arsenal have there on their graphic for ahead of the game. They've picked Jorginho, who I think will be probably one of the changes today. There was all smiles at training yesterday. And it's an interesting one in terms of what Arteta is going to do for this game. We'll go over the predicted 11 in a minute. This is what he had to say about sort of the Champions League and where Arsenal are now. He said, look, we've done a lot in this competition and the most exciting part is still to come up. That's why we have to make sure we finish the job tonight, put ourselves in a great position. We've been extremely consistent in the competition, very efficient. Now we have to continue to do that, and he's right. Arsenal have been fantastic so far in the Champions League. Just that one blip, the defeat over in Italy against Inter Milan, shouldn't have lost that game. Really, were by far the better team on the day. Well, maybe that's over-egging it a little bit. Inter got the goal, and then they kind of kept Arsenal at arm's length in that second half because Arsenal really sort of struggled to break them down. But they did play quite well, I thought, on the day, certainly in the second half at the San Siro. Mikel was then asked, is there any reason to fear anyone in this competition? He says, I have full belief that we can compete against any team left in the competition, get the best out of ourselves in every detail and define the moment to go through. I'm intrigued at how Arteta's going to approach this one today. I'm sure he will make changes. Saliba was yesterday in the press conference with us, and he was asked during it, do you know if you're going to play yet? And he said, I don't know. I'll find out probably tonight or tomorrow morning. And, I think he will make changes. I think that's inevitable given the situation and given the context of the game, but I don't think he's going to make massive, massive changes. I don't think anyone is expecting him to play a bunch of kids or certainly start a bunch of kids. That's just absolutely not going to happen. I can't see it anyway. He will still go strong. Arteta always, whenever we turn up to these games where we think there's going to be loads of changes, Arteta always surprises us with how strong he goes. So there will be changes, but I don't think it will be absolutely wholesale changes. I think Raheem Sterling will start this one. Mikel was talking quite a bit about him yesterday, was asked quite a bit about him yesterday and the struggles he's going through and kind of how he felt about not coming on against Manchester United at the weekend. He was asked, what's the difference now from Sterling that you're seeing day in, day out at Arsenal than what he was, a few years ago, maybe when we were working with him at Man City. And he says, look, the time in football flies as well as he's now playing for different clubs. Things move and change and you have to do it again. Raz has been incredibly consistent in the last 10 years for the things he has done. And it's about now doing it again. He was asked, has he lost anything now? And he said, now what he's not having probably is the time he used to have before to play and show his ability. He was asked if their relationship has now changed. Obviously, it was a strong relationship. They worked together at City. Has it changed now? Maybe the fact that Arteta's not playing him at Arsenal. Said on a personal level, not so much, but obviously it's different because of the role that he has right now and what we demand from each other. What Pep used to do, demand from him is different because now I'm the person who makes the final call. And I'm sure it's been difficult for Sterling. The cameras were certainly zooming in on him on the bench at Old Trafford. The press pack up at Old Trafford, the Manchester-based sort of press pack. So the journalists who are there who usually cover United, there was genuine surprise from them that Kieran Tierney came on ahead of Raheem Sterling, and Kieran Tierney played left wing in the second half against United when he came on. They were all like, why is Sterling not coming on? Surely you're playing Raheem Sterling. Why is Tierney being picked ahead of him? But obviously there was no surprise amongst the Arsenal press pack who were there, and everyone was telling them, well, no, Sterling's just not been good this season. And I don't think any Arsenal fan was surprised when that decision was made or was frustrated when that decision was made and felt that Sterling should have come on ahead of Kieran Tierney, which I think says an awful lot. But he will get, I think, an opportunity to start tonight, Raheem Sterling. His last start was the Leicester game, wasn't it? Which obviously didn't pan out well for him at all. So he'll be hoping for a better performance. You would think there's going to be space for him tonight, the way PSV played, the way we saw them play just a week ago. So hopefully he might get some space to be able to exploit. And if he can have a decent night, just pick up an assist or even better, a goal, could that do something for him over the next 10 games, 12 games, whatever it is that's left in terms of Premier League and Champions League fixtures between now and the end of the season before he goes back to Chelsea. He's still got a chance to somehow make himself a bit of a hero at Arsenal, Raheem Sterling. Does it look likely? No. I'm not seeing any evidence to suggest that will happen. But who knows? There's just football, something can just happen like that, and suddenly you can go from zero to hero. And, Arsenal and Arteta will certainly be hoping that might well be the case for Sterling. Before I go on to predicted 11, just on last night's game, really good game to watch that. PSG deserving winners over both legs. They were better than Liverpool, absolutely better than Liverpool. Liverpool started well yesterday, didn't take advantage of it. PSG got themselves in front through Dembele and were then the better team. I think certainly for the first half. Second half, Liverpool were better. And it kind of felt like a Liverpool goal felt a bit inevitable, I thought, in that second half. That second half was kind of like, it felt like what Arsenal did to PSG earlier on in the season. Liverpool were dominating physically. I thought they were better. And it just looked like a goal was coming, but it didn't. They didn't manage to find a way through. And then I thought PSG, fair play to them, were excellent in extra time. They were a better team in extra time in that game. Couldn't score and it went to penalties. And then Donnarumma, obviously the hero, making a couple of saves from Nunez and was it Elliott? I think the second one, I can't remember. And then Doué scoring the winner. What a talent that Doué is! I tell you what, he came on yesterday. He was so impressive. I thought it'll be interesting what this does to Liverpool. Obviously the title's already wrapped up, so that doesn't really matter. But it'll be interesting to see how they finish the season. They've got a big game at the weekend, cup final, obviously, against Newcastle. They lost a couple of players, although Konate probably was just a bit of a tiredness. I think he cramped up rather than anything, but he got a bad injury to Trent. Just felt like a lot of things have gone for Liverpool this season. That's not taking anything away from them. They've been the best team. They deserve to win the Premier League title comfortably so. They've been the better team by a mile in the Premier League this season. But a lot of things have gone right for them. Yesterday, nothing really went for them. They had a couple of penalty appeals, never penalties, but they weren't given. Premier League, I bet you one of those gets given. They did get injuries to some key players in the game that had to go off, and then lost the coin toss. So didn't even have the penalty shootout in front of the cop. They had it at the other end. Lost the second coin toss. They had to take the penalty second rather than first. They definitely didn't get the sort of luck that they've been getting, or the fortune rather than luck, maybe, that they've been getting in the Premier League. And I thought PSG deserved winners in that. Barcelona, very, very impressive in how they sort of comfortably pushed Benfica aside yesterday as well. Bayern Munich as well. 5-0 aggregate over Leverkusen. Was not expecting that when that draw was made. So some big wins for big teams yesterday. Arsenal, obviously, if they get through tonight, and then if they get through against Madrid, whichever Madrid in the quarterfinals, PSG potentially in the semi-finals of the Champions League. But long way to go before we get onto that, obviously. Right, predicted 11 then for today. I mean, look, hold my hands up. I try and pride myself on getting these quite nearly correct an awful lot of the time, because it's quite hard to get inside Mikel Arteta's head at times. This one's really difficult. You know, I'm clutching at straws here and trying to get this one right. But this is what I've gone for. So I've gone for Neto in goal rather than Raya. So there's one change, Neto coming in. I've gone White. You know, I asked Mikel yesterday in a press conference if White is now ready to start as he continues to sort of get back to full fitness, and Mikel said yes, I believe he's ready to start now. They've had to be careful of him, but now he looks ready to start. So I think this is a good opportunity for White to sort of step up his minutes, maybe get 60, 70 minutes under his belt in this one. So I've gone White at right back. I've kept Saliba. I think one of Saliba or Gabriel starts tonight, and I've gone for Saliba at the right-sided centre-back. You could rest both of them and move Timber, but I think Timber deserves a rest as well tonight. So I've gone Saliba at right centre-back, Kivior left centre-back. I've then gone Tierney at full-back for this one. Jorginho playing in the sort of holding role. I've then gone Rice and Odegaard, so I've stuck with those two up front. Maybe Zinchenko. We've seen him playing in that left 8 role at times off the bench recently. Maybe he gets a start tonight in that left 8 role, and you could rest Declan Rice, who did run himself into the ground against Manchester United. Obviously, there's a big game coming up against Chelsea on Sunday. But I've gone with Rice and Odegaard. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe one of those two drops out. And then up front, I've gone with Martinelli on the right, Sterling on the left, and Trossard replacing Merino as the central striker. So that's my predicted 11 for today. That's what I think Arteta might do. So Neto, White, Saliba, Kivior, Tierney, Jorginho, Odegaard, Rice, Martinelli, Trossard, and Sterling. Okay, this is what some of you guys have had to say in terms of the lineups you would like to see today. Angile Chris says, lineup for me, Neto, White, Timber, Kivior, Skelly, Jorginho, Rice, Maneri, Martinelli, Merino, Tierney. I don't want to see too many key players risked. This team is good enough to not get beat 6-0. The fact that I'd rather have Tierney left wing than Sterling says a lot. Tyler says, hi Charles, my starting 11 would be Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tierney, Odegaard, Jorginho, Zinchenko, Martinelli, Butler, Adesi, and Sterling. I'd rest Trossard, Merino, Nwaneri, Rice, Partey, Skelly, and Calafiori and Timber. Give minutes to White and Martinelli. Let Zinchenko run 3 in the left 8 and try Butler up top. JFO6281 says, against PSV, I'd start Setford, White, Kivior, Calafiori, Tierney, Jorginho, Zinchenko, Odegaard, Sterling, Martinelli, and then Butler or Adeji. Nostradamus says, PSV are second in the Eredivisie, 8 points behind leaders Ajax. No doubt a must-win league game on Saturday before their next game, which is against Ajax. You'd imagine they wouldn't want to risk anything tonight. I'm going with a comfortable yet entertaining 3-0 win. Neto, White, Saliba, Kivior, Tierney, Jorginho, Zinchenko, Ranieri, Odegaard, Calafiori, and Trossard. And then finally one from Adam there at the bottom says, hi Charles, as there's no point starting Raya, would you start Neto or Setford in goal? Neto has the experience. It's still an important game, but it also might be a good opportunity and our last this season to give game time to a younger prospect for the future rather than the player who will be gone in a few months. I still think it'd be Neto as he's our second choice. Needs game time in case he's called upon. Just curious what your thoughts are. I'd go with Neto for this one. It'd be nice for Setford, obviously, to get a Champions League debut, but I don't think there's any need for that. He's still very, very young. He's probably going to go out on loan next season. He's going to get lots of experience there. I don't think there's any need to be playing Setford in this one. Neto is Arsenal's number 2. That's what he's in here for. If Raya is injured, suspended, or just needs a rest, you play Neto for me. So yeah, that's what I'd be going for. I'd be going for Neto. And that's it from me today, everyone. Thank you very much for watching and for listening. Appreciate your time as always. Like I said, I'm not in the press box today. I'm in my seat with my dad, so I'm not going to be doing live updates or anything like that from the game. But I'll be back in the morning to do the review show. You want to get involved in that? Come back to this after the game. Give me your thoughts. Who impressed? Who didn't? Talk about the big talking points in the game, and I'll pull some of them together and get them included in tomorrow's show. Until then, have a great day, everyone. Speak to you soon. Join the match later. Bye bye.